Hello and welcome to This Week in Bobcat Athletics. I'm Vice President of Athletics and Club Sports, Craig McPhail, and another great show, folks. We had a great week last week on the heels of Pack the Den for dinner. We had really exciting basketball games this past Saturday. We had a full house. We had a soccer ID clinic that had 30 young men come up here to Banner Elk and see if they want to be part of Bobcat Nation. I'm telling you, folks, this was a great opportunity. Even through the winter, we've got great things happening. I mean, we've got tennis is about to start up. You're going to hear from Coach Marriott today. We've got women's lacrosse. I've got a young woman that I want to introduce you to that many of you probably already seen through town. Folks, Lees-McRae Athletics is really taking advantage of the engagement and the involvement in our community. I want you to be a part of it. I want you to come see for yourself exactly what I'm talking about here every day. We've got great young people, we've got great coaches, and we're on the verge of something really special, and you need to be a part of it. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Bobcat Athletics.
And welcome back to This Week in Bobcat Athletics. I'm Sports Information Director Chris Parker with familiar face and Coach Steve Harden of our men's basketball team. Coach, you split last week. King, a little bit of a rough game, but you bounced back, dropped 102 on Barton. Talk about how your team responded.
It's a huge response. I mean, we've been good at home, but if we make shots, we're pretty good. And we get going, and we scored early. We got up 10-3, and that helped us with some confidence to get going. And we just kind of match up well with Barton. So it's a huge rival game for us, and the pure fact that we haven't won much and hardly at all against them. So to actually get a sweep on them through the season is huge for our program.
And that sweep could be big towards the end of the season, especially with seedings. And I mean, we're 4 weeks away from looking at the conference tournament, but it's still a lot of basketball to be played. And you said when you knock down shots, you're going to score a lot of points. Darius Malbon didn't miss one. Talk about his performance.
He's coming into his own. We always knew as a coaching staff that he could be a good player potentially, and finally he's just kind of mentally getting there. He's always had the skills, just mentally he's just got to get a little tougher, and he's getting there. And you know he's been a catalyst for us for the past couple of games for sure.
Talk about Austin struggled at King. They kind of shut him down, but he bounces back with 28, ties the season high on Saturday. What did that do for your offense, knowing that he was going to hit about anything he shot?
Just testament to him, really. It shows how much of a character guy and how much he understands the moment and being a senior. I mean, we was pretty frustrated with him at King, and the bad part about that is he still had 9 points and 7 rebounds, and we're frustrated. So that just shows how great a player he is. And he came out and ran the show and helped us in scoring and pretty much got everybody going. I thought a Barton game was a huge team win for us. You know, we got 10, 12 guys all scoring, you know, and getting a lot of stuff done with rebounds and deflections and playing our style. So that was a true testament to us getting back to where we need to be.
And speaking of, Trey Hall kind of came out of nowhere. I would say that was almost his breakout game. What have you seen from the freshmen so far this season?
You know, he's freshman year, so he's always been struggling a little bit early on. Coaching staff's really been pushing him hard to get better. As a freshman, we had high hopes for him coming in. He got injured, you know, just learning school far away from home from Florida, so it took him a little while. But I think he's refocused and ready to go, so he's really helped us a lot.
Speaking of ready to go, you guys get to trek down to Mount Olive, probably through some snow leaving today.
Yes.
You play them at 6:30 tomorrow with a little bit of a time change. Just talk about that matchup a little bit.
I'm dealing with adversity is always part of us at Lees-McRae. Just you never know with weather and those kind of things that's going to happen. So we're leaving pretty much right after this to get on the road and practice late tonight, 9:30 tonight, and end up hopefully be ready to go tomorrow. Early start time, I don't think it'll affect us that much on the change. Just hopefully we just keep the same mentality and be able to get a tough win on the road. You know. Between Barton and Mount Olive, they've been a catalyst up there with King for a long time in this conference. So if we could somehow get a sweep on Mount Olive as well, that would be huge.
One last question for you. You guys, like we talked about, going to Mount Olive. You get North Greenville at home. Two-part question. First of all, senior day, so you're going to celebrate. Cam, Kendall, and Austin, what have they done for the program in the last few years?
Wow, it's been huge. I can just start first with my staff, with Coach Jennings and Coach Wands did a great job on this trip. What we just talked about, going to Mount Olive to get prepared and the change on all the little things that we got to get ready for with the scout. But going on to Saturday, once we get back, naturally we're going to probably practice really late on Wednesday night and just get ready for Saturday. And I'm hoping that it'll be a great, pretty much a great, just being able to showcase those three guys. I mean, they've meant the world to us. They're going to be the most wins ever as a senior class going out. So I mean, they pretty much helped us build our program where it is. So we'll hopefully talk a lot more about them in the future. But we know that they've meant a lot to us, and hopefully we'll get to showcase that Saturday.
And second part to that question, you guys, you've played everybody once, maybe twice, speaking on Bart and all them, but you're just seeing North Greenville for the first time on Saturday. What kind of challenge does that present?
It's different. I mean, you're already in February, and we haven't really looked at them much. We haven't paid attention just because we knew they were late. I mean, the conference schedule is a little different how we do that. So that's one thing I know. King plays Limestone for the first time. Everybody has one for the first time late. But for us, North Greenville, I mean, they won the conference tournament last year. They were high last year. They've struggled a little bit this year, but at the same time, they still got a lot of those same guys back. So we'll have to be ready to go, and we did a pretty good job of capitalizing against them last year. We swept them, so it's going to be tough for us. I know they'll be out to get us.
All right. Coach Hart and the Bobcats travel to Mount Olive for a game Tuesday at 6:30, and then they're back here at Williams Gym at 4 o'clock for Senior Day. And we hope that you can come out and support your Bobcats this weekend. And we'll be back shortly with tennis coach Don Marriott.
Hello and welcome back to This Week in Bobcat Athletics. It's February, that's Black History Month, and I'm fortunate to have a good friend of mine, Shartella Taylor, a junior from Winston-Salem on our women's lacrosse team. And Shartella, let's start off a little bit with, how did you get into women's lacrosse?
In high school, I wanted to play a sport, so Matt Vick, taught my history teacher taught me into playing lacrosse for West Forsyth, so. And then he knew Coach Cameron, so that's how I got here.
Fantastic. It's interesting how the paths cross and so forth. So you've been here 3 years. Tell me, what is the most exciting thing you've done here at Lees-McRae?
So many.
I'll tell you, if it was me, it would be that hairstyle. I'm quite jealous of it.
Everyone pretty much likes it. It's pretty awesome because
if I could grow hair, I'd have that. Well, Shartella, what are you majoring in?
Accounting and finance.
All right, fantastic. So tell me a little bit about that. Being an African American, what does Black History Month mean to you?
To me, pretty much, I'm this month gets me really excited because it's a month that not only African Americans can be excited for, but everyone can be excited for, because we all should be thankful that we are not back in that time. We came so far to being able to be in the same room with each other. So as we continue this, your involvement, your engagement on your team and in our community, you're able to give back just as much as those before you have given to you and given you this great opportunity. Talk a little bit about what you're excited about this upcoming season. I'm excited for playing new teams and accomplish new goals with our new coach, with Coach King. She's brought a lot to this team, so I'm pretty excited to, since we have a small team, to accomplish a lot with just our small team than other teams that have
Sure. Now, Shartella, I've seen you around town. You stayed up here this summer to work, didn't you,
I did.
in Avery County? Tell me a little bit why you chose to stay in Banner Elk and not go home for the summer.
I love it here. I didn't want to go home, so I stayed up here because of the views, and I went hiking and explored around and got to know the towns. I know a lot of locals now.
Good. Well, good. Well, Shartella, I'm excited about watching you play this spring. Thank you so much for this segment on Black History Month, and I look forward to watching you, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Bobcat Athletics.
And welcome back to This Week in Bobcat Athletics. We're here with head tennis coach Don Marriott. Don, welcome to the show. First time on here.
Thank you, Chris.
Pretty new to the Banner Elk area. What's your experience been so far?
Fantastic, Chris. My wife and I, my family, we have enjoyed driving around, experiencing new restaurants, new scenery, and we've really fallen in love with Banner Elk.
So you've seen a little bit of two extremes. You've had some nice fall weather, but now we're dealing with some snow, maybe some more. What challenges and having to practice indoors does that bring upon the team with the weather affecting you almost daily?
Well, the challenges it presents, Chris, are that we are confined to 2 tennis courts with the men and the women teams trying to get a lot of hits in. However, it's a real good and fortunate problem that we have having the indoor facility. So to complain or say it's difficult would be hard to say out loud.
Going back before you got here at Lees-McRae, why don't you tell Bobcat Nation a little bit about your past in tennis and kind of what brought you here to the school?
Well, I'm from the Jersey Shore, and I played high school tennis at the Pennington School in Pennington, New Jersey, and then I played my college tennis at High Point University. From there, I've played quite a bit of tennis. I've been a director of tennis at the High Point Country Club, Statesville Country Club, and basically been a tennis professional or instructor for the last 15 to 20 years.
All right, Coach. Well, you haven't really got to see your women in action much, just given your schedule, but you guys played Appalachian State here a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Despite the loss, you seem very energized about that match.
Yeah,
Just tell us about your boys' team.
Our Bobcat men came out ready to play for the match, and my expectations were already high, but they met those expectations, which was fantastic. I feel like if we can compete the way we did against Appalachian when we get in our conference schedule, we will be a difficult team to beat.
Speaking of conference schedule, this will be your first year going through it. I imagine you've talked to some of your tennis buddies, some other coaches. What's your outlook on playing in Conference Carolinas?
My outlook is positive. I think the things we've been working on, Chris, have been working on our mental games, being match ready up in the head, not just physically ready, but mentally ready. So I think when you see the current Bobcats hit the courts in the spring, although the players will be the same, I don't think you're going to be seeing the same team. I think we're going to be competing better and knowing how to channel through a tennis match and get a W at the end.
And like we mentioned earlier, you hadn't really seen your women's play in a match itself. They go to Lenore-Rhyne this Sunday. What are your expectations for the women's team?
Again, my expectations for the women's team would be the same as the men. I have high expectations. The girls been working hard, playing hard. Once again, I bring up that we've been working on mental toughness with tennis and any sport, obviously. But you know, tennis, just knowing the game, your mental aptitude when approaching a match is so important to stay mentally healthy throughout the entire match, not up and down. And I think what you'll see with our women is mental toughness that doesn't dip down, that stays pretty linear throughout the entire match against Lenore-Rhyne.
All right, Coach, thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Coach Marriott and the Bobcats traveled to Lenore-Rhyne and Hickory on Sunday, and we'll be back with the recap of last week and look forward to this week on This Week in Bobcat Athletics. And welcome back to This Week in Bobcat Athletics. Let's look back at the week that was and look forward to the week that will be. Men's volleyball lost a pair of matches. They went to Erskine on Tuesday and fell 3-0 before they traveled up north to play St. Francis, Pennsylvania. Played pretty tough, lost that one 3-1. That was a pretty long day for the Bobcat men's volleyball team. They will travel to North Greenville on Tuesday before playing Limestone on Friday at Limestone. And then after that, they're going to trek north and go play George Mason in Fairfax, Virginia on Saturday. As you saw, we talked to Coach Harden. Tough loss at King. Just really never got it going offensively, but they did respond very nice and loudly as they beat Barton 102-86. And here are some highlights from that contest.
At Florida Junior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, number 1, Chad Hicks. At guard senior.
after the game, we were able to speak with senior Austin Anderson, who tied a season high with 28 points. And welcome back to the Mountain Television Network. I'm Chris Parker here with senior Austin Anderson. Austin Anderson, you guys finally broke 100 points. What does this win mean for the team?
It means a lot. Now that they're second in the conference, so now that we swept them, if worst comes to worst, we gotta have a tiebreaker. That comes into play, but it means a lot. We finally found our rhythm in offense, and defensively we've got some stops. So this was a good game for us, especially coming back off the loss like we did last week.
Speaking of offensive scoring, 28 points. What was working for you tonight?
My teammates, they just found me open shots. They kept the ball moving, just helped me gain my confidence throughout the game.
You guys go down there, get a big lead, and they come back, make it close. You guys win by a couple points in Wilson. Same thing looked like it was going to happen, but you guys stretched the lead out, kept it around a dozen to 15. What does that game experience help with a game like this today?
It helps a lot. We normally come out slow second half. We came out this half with a different mentality, thinking we got to get more stops. We held them to a low percentage for the game, field goal wise. So getting stops really helped. We had a different mentality this half.
Like I said, they cut it down a little bit, made it close, and then you made just that unbelievable play where you broke the guy's ankles, hit the three with 4 seconds to go on the shot clock. Was that a momentum shift late in the second half?
I would say Melbourne's alley-oop was a big momentum shift. We felt like we had the game, in our hands, but once we got to stop, converted off the stop. That's when we knew.
Well, this is the part of the year where it's really tough. You battled King, now you battled Barton. You got to win here. You go down to Mount Olive. What does this win mean in building momentum for the rest of the season?
It means a lot. Mount Olive, they just came off a win against Mount Olive, so we're going to go down there. Mount Olive is a hard place to win at, so we're going to try and carry this momentum over there and get a win over there.
All right, thank you for your time.
So, thank you.
And we'll be back shortly with Coach Steve Harden. And after the win, Coach Harden was able to give us a few words. Take a glance at what he has to say. And welcome back to the Mountain Television Network. I'm Chris Parker. We're here with Coach Steve Harden. Coach Harden, big win against Barton. You guys broke the 100-point plateau. How good does that feel?
Whoa, it's even better to sweep Barton because that's big for us. They were right in second place, battling for the top. And for us to get a sweep, it really helps us in any tiebreakers. So, and I don't know when's the last time that Lees-McRae beat Barton once. So to sweep them, I know it's never happened. So that's a big accomplishment in our program history.
Austin Anderson, player of the game, bounced back after a rough outing at King. What had it going for him tonight?
Yeah, I think it's probably the worst game he's played at King, and he still had 9.7 rebounds. So I mean, I think he should be in consideration for Player of the Year just by what he did, what he's meant to us, and how much he's hurt other teams. But yeah, like you said, a senior stepped up and he came in and did his job.
Barton shaves down your lead down to about 8 or 10 points. Then you get the rough play with the technicals. What were you telling your guys during that part of the game and keeping their heads?
It was a little touchy-feely for a little while. The game was called kind of a little inconsistent on everybody trying to understand how to play. So I think both ways. It was just one of those where we couldn't really get a rhythm and get going. But I thought we kept our composure for the most part. It was like that at their place too. For some reason, for us and them, it just comes down to it a lot like that. But I'm just glad to be on top of it.
Can you talk about the progression of Darius Malbon and 10 points at King, 14 in the big dunk tonight?
Oh yeah, he finally got on Duck Mountain again. That was a great dunk. It was so athletic. But yeah, mentally you can tell he's checked in. He's been there, and I've always saw when I recruited him as a player, I knew that he had a chance to be really, really good player. It just took a little longer for him than most players, but he's coming along, and hopefully he just keeps progressing.
All right, Coach, you get to enjoy this one for about 24 hours, then another stiff test at Mount Olive. What are you guys looking forward to most in going out and playing the Trojans?
Well, it's going to be tough. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be tough. I mean, that was one thing with them. I think I heard the score, and I think King got them pretty good tonight, so I know that they'll be out ready to go. At their place is one of the toughest places to play in the conference, so we got to bring another championship effort like they did tonight, and hopefully we can make some shots. If we make shots, we're always pretty good.
All right. That's Coach Steve Harden. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next weekend when the Bobcats take on North Greenville at 4 o'clock. The women's team lost at King as well, 75-49. They came home, got out to a big lead against Barton, then struggled in the second and third quarter, down 14 late in the third. They came back and tied it. Unfortunately, they lost that one in overtime by 11. softball dropped a pair of games to a very tough Carson Newman team, and then they went down to Charlotte and lost to Queens at 2 times as well. So moving forward to this week, basketball is at Mount Olive on Tuesday at 4:30 and 6:30. Then they'll be back home on Saturday at 2 and 4 p.m. for Senior Day. We'll honor 4 seniors: Kendall Eisler, Cam Red, Austin Anderson on the men's team, and then Taylor Collins on the women's team. So please be sure to come out and support your Bobcats there. We already touched on men's volleyball. The tennis teams, as we talked with Coach Marriott, are going to be at Lenore-Rhine on Sunday at 1 and 3, I believe. Softball will also be down in Hickory at Lenore-Rhine, playing in the Bear Bash. They play 2 games on Saturday and then another 2 on Sunday. And the men's lacrosse team will be traveling to Greensboro as they will play the Greensboro Pride at noon on Saturday. So that's it for right now. Plenty of teams in action with tennis starting up, lacrosse starting up, men's volleyball getting in the thick of their season, and basketball in the long haul. And track actually has this weekend off before they go to Winston-Salem. And we'll be back to wrap things up on This Week in Bobcat Athletics with Mr. McPhail.
It's been another great show, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this. We've had a lot of fun working with the sport management program at Lees-McRae and our coaching staff. And now I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I really hope you can make it to Saturday's basketball games. It's senior day, and obviously that's an emotional time. But we've got a lot of other things going on. This Saturday, February 13th, guys, you can bring your ladies over. Ladies, you can come over with the guys. We have a Valentine's Day special. Doubleheader basketball game, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. But what's really special, the Tuttle Elementary jump roping team and unicyclist team are coming. If you haven't seen them, they put on a great show. It's fun, the entertainment, it's great. They'll get you involved. You may find yourself doing a jump rope or riding a unicycle. Who knows? This is just another way that we've tried to embrace our environment, provide a great opportunity for our young people to come watch healthy, fun, energetic activities and give them the hope that one day they'll be out there on that basketball court. I'm proud of our basketball teams, the women's team's rallying, our men's team excelling. Folks, we got a lot to be thankful for. The talented young people that we have here are great ambassadors. They're role model student athletes, and they're great young people. And I hope that as you see them at the convenience stores or at the grocery stores or at the bank, you'll recognize them and appreciate them for all their efforts, because they've made Banner Elk, Lees-McRae, and Avery County an even better place. For now, this is all. Stay tuned for more next week on This Week in Bobcat Athletics.